Welcome viewers to Tech Behemoth, and today I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth with the LG Optimus V and the Motorola Triumph. What can I say? I mean, this is obviously the latest phone, latest and greatest. Just about everything does pretty much smoke this phone. But overall I'd say it depends on the preference, but most people probably would go with this one. But if you want, you can definitely go with this. It's half price, and it does pretty much just about everything that the Triumph does. Overall, this is I've been working with it, playing with it, just whatever normally. So I have kind of a better feel for it. There's a couple of things that I think this phone did better, but overall, I'm very happy with this one. Uh, the battery, people were kind of wondering, as far as when I try it and use it, somehow the battery seems to be more stable on the Triumph. It seems a little weird since this one, the Optimus V, is actually, it's a slightly bigger battery, which is kind of funny, but I'm not sure what it is. I heard there's a bug here, and because I had a couple days where I didn't even use the phone all day, and by 4 p.m., the thing is dead. But it rarely happens, but it does. I don't know why. Triumph never happened. Battery seems more stable, a lot better. Maybe because the 1 gigahertz Snapdragon, it's less strain on the system, so the battery isn't used up as much. I'm not entirely sure. Battery's okay. Batteries, they're both good. As typical as a smartphone can be. The calls were actually really good. I had no problems. Oh, here's my cat, of course. I guess you know what his take is on the Optimus V, but actually it's a good phone. No kid. I mean, if you don't want to spend too much, this will do more than enough. Of course, the screen is a little bit smaller. The one thing, probably the one or two, there's a couple of things that actually, overall, this would beat, but there's a couple of things that's kind of, the first would be the internet. It's actually sometimes doesn't seem to start up. Like sometimes I'll be like, it can't connect. I've heard that the signal is weaker, single band, I believe, or something like that. So I mean, I guess it's indoor. I haven't really played it as much, but sometimes the internet won't. The 3G won't kick in. It'd usually be there, but sometimes it won't kick in. But unless when you really need it that moment. Actually, I didn't find it to be too bad. I even went down to LA to see a friend for a week, so it gave me a little bit more of a checking, or kind of like a, not just in one area but in two, and it did the same thing there. So I'm guessing it's the phone and not the coverage, or because the phone came out. I'm not entirely sure. My cat just wants to just play like crazy right now, I guess. So that might be the one thing to think about, I'm guessing, because it kicks in a lot better there on the Optimus V. So that might be one thing to kind of consider. Another thing that also is kind of on the Triumph is the GPS. It actually takes a while most of the time to actually start working, like a minute or something like that. So it's not fast, but it always will work, especially if you're outdoors. Indoors, probably not. So I'm guessing it's just a signal. The signal for the phone is weaker. Apparently, that's probably the only real gripe I have on the phone. But other than that, I mean, it's great. Big screen. It actually has a good battery, even with a bigger screen. So I'm liking it. Not to mention, it has Netflix. I don't know if people know now, but there is Netflix on this phone. And you know how they've still been picky on certain phones. It works. I mean, it's not just there and it just doesn't work for this specific phone, but it works. That is definitely a one big thing that will probably get a lot of people going to get the Triumph now, is because of Netflix. What else can I say? Obviously, you want to use Wi-Fi whenever it can, like in a home. So, I mean, if you're indoors where there's usually Wi-Fi, the internet isn't going to be that much of a problem. The other thing I would probably say that actually is better for the Optimus V is you can actually do Wi-Fi hotspot. At least, still only this phone compared to this one. The Triumph, I mean, I haven't looked recently, but at the beginning, it was blocked out. Nothing worked to make it work. So if you want Wi-Fi hotspot on, easy and on the spot, this is the phone you want because it's very easy, intuitive, and while it's still unlimited internet no matter what, this is the way to go. That's about it, really. I mean, this is I would say this is definitely the phone to get. It's obviously twice as much as this, so it all depends on your use. They're both just as thin. I actually got a little case. It's slightly bigger. It's just a generic one they have at Best Buys. It is kind of hard to find, but I know online I've seen some, but it just didn't work. I want something simple. That works for me. I can't think of much else. I mean, both are good phones to consider, but if you want a bigger screen, this is obviously better. And I like it. I mean, I have my iPod Touch. Every time I'm on this phone for a while, and then I go to my iPod Touch, or even when I turn this on to display it for you guys, I'm like, wow, that's a small screen. So this works. Obviously, there's the HDMI out. I still need to get the wire. Not in a hurry, but there's the option. Gotta love it. That's pretty much about it. Both phones are definitely good depending on what you want, but the Triumph is obviously triumphing in this respect, except for a few quirks or whatever. That's pretty much it. So, see you next time. One last thing to point out is the camera. Now, the Triumph, while has a 5 megapixel camera compared to the Optimus V's 3, it blurs when you actually move around, as you can see. It is a better camera, but great for stills. But when you do video, it's blurry. So Optimus V wins for the video, but the Triumph wins for stills.